Hi, folks. My name is Avinash. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Skan. We all have heard about GPT, generative, pre-trained transformers. I have a human transformer that I'll bring on stage in a few minutes after I tell you what we are doing. This whole notion of the power of AI in our enterprise has always been ultimately on the notions of what we can do with data, what we can do on NPS scores, on cost, on efficiencies, on effectiveness, and so on and so forth. We ultimately play with either humans, the widgets that we give them, and the transactions that they work on. In some sense, we are missing the true telemetry that is built on data. And this is what Skan does. Skan builds telemetry of work as it happens, as people insert themselves in work. So our work is extremely foundational. And as opposed to thinking about AI from top down, which is models downwards, it is models upwards, down from upwards, wherein we look at work, we observe work, and based on that observation, we build out the efficiencies that can be brought in using AI models. It's been a pleasure to work with Miloy over the last almost 3 years now. And as I said, he is the operator's transformer and the transformer's operator.
In 21, we scouted Skan. We had initial conversations, and I'm so glad that we were actually a little bit forward-looking to understand actually how would AI help us to truly augment our employees. But the point is actually here is about we try to use actually AI to truly understand the processes in our business. So traditionally, you would go in the tools, whatever tools we would use, you would actually set up the processes. In the reality, this is really actually not working that way. You won't believe it actually how the things that we drew on the paper and the real process looks like with all the loops and how this is working. That is really hard to sometimes understand why are people actually running that way. This is what we discussed. We used AI with Skan to truly do a couple of things. One is how is our really process truly works. Where do we need actually to train people? Where we need to do a better job actually do operations management. When you actually the team leaders that they know exactly how the processes are working. That's number one. Number two, this is also actually helping the product management to truly actually get into say, where do we actually need to improve? And this is when we actually talk about the concept about unit cost price. How can we improve that? How can we absorb more business without actually adding more people actually to work? That empathy, what we all talk about, that empathy is so important because we wondered empathy will never be part of actually AI. That is something that we are actually trying to accomplish here. And then continue the people investment, making them productive, more proficient, developing actually their careers, and just actually making sure that everybody wants actually to spend the time at the moments actually to serve the customer instead of actually leaking the data.
From a technology perspective, you all heard about transformers, right? And so we've heard that if there is a sentence of words, then what is the next possible word in that sentence? So think of our technology as looking at words equivalent to steps of activities, sequences of work that people might do. And in that sequence, using transformers to predict what's the next sequence, right? And we do this by a process of observation. And observation is key because observation takes away bias. One of the things that beset us in this whole notion of trying to optimize work and so on and so forth is we believe very strongly what we believe about our work. That this is how my business process runs. This is how my people do work. The flaw lies there. And the way we get over that bias is by leaving aside what we think is the business process, but by actually observing business processes using continuous observation mechanisms like the ones that we build using AI.